This is CTV News, made for students by students.
I'll admit, I think I'm going to be a little rusty this show.
Don't worry, I have my oil can. I got your back.
Fantastic. Yeah, and you know what? We get a week off, and then we come back to maybe the biggest story in maybe of the year. Peyton Manning, now a Denver Bronco.
Really?
Yeah. What? You haven't heard?
I'm kidding. I know.
Okay.
I just had to do that.
So you have heard?
I have.
All right, so what do you think?
I love it. I love it. I love our chances to go far. Super Bowl, winning the AFC West, taking down the Chargers, the Raiders. I love it.
It's Peyton Manning, folks.
Peyton Manning.
That's the thing I
Manning.
love. All right, if you don't know what Peyton Manning has done through his career, let's take a look at some of his accomplishments here. You know, the guy, we're a little worried about his neck. He's had 4 surgeries, but he's also had 4 NFL MVP awards.
11 Pro Bowls.
Exactly, 11 Pro Bowls. He's had the most, he's had second to Brett Favre with 208 consecutive starts. Again, 11 Pro Bowls, 7 playoff wins. He's a great quarterback. He is a great quarterback. So
with the Broncos, we're gonna get past the Patriots and Tom Brady because Manning couldn't with the Colts.
Oh, all right. Do you think we're gonna win the AFC West?
I totally do. I think we're gonna win it hands down. And but who do we need to get?
Oh, that's a tough decision.
I
think offense is going to be fine. I think now that we have Peyton Manning, I think we're going to have free agents just rolling in.
You betcha.
Dallas Clark, I think, is going to come in. Jeff Saturday, a lot of Colts. We need to focus on defense. Defense. We're old in defensive backs. You know, we got cornerback we need help at, safety we need help at, middle linebacker, defensive tackle. There's a lot of holes. So I think we're going to focus that on the draft and free agents.
Right.
All right, but now let's go to some of the Broncos players, see what they're thinking about. You know, a lot of them were tweeting about Peyton Manning.
Twitter was on fire today.
DJ Williams was one of them, one of our middle inside linebackers. Let's see what he said. Hearing great news not only motivates, but it puts a little pep in your step. We're going to run 5 wide receivers and Wildcat. Go Broncos. Wow, 5 Wildcat.
Where's Manning?
He obviously thinks that the Broncos are going to keep Tim Tebow. Do you think we're going to keep Tim Tebow?
I personally, I wish we would. He could learn from one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, but I think he's gone. I think we're going to trade him.
You think we're going to trade him? You know, it is a possibility we'll release him.
We need something for him.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. We spent a first-round draft pick on him.
Where's he going to go?
Ooh, I have to say somewhere in Florida. The Dolphins could use a quarterback. I know Chad Henne signed with the Jags, but they need a quarterback too. You know, a ton of Tebow fans there in Jacksonville. So they got a lot of, I think Florida, that's where Tebow fans are born. They're bred there. So I think that's where it's going to go.
Totally agree.
All right. Well, let's look at what Tebow did last year for the team. He was, you know, he had a pretty good year. You know, he's not the greatest quarterback. You know, only 1,700 passing yards.
Gotta love the rushing yards.
Yeah, rushing yards. He was great. 12 TDs, 7 wins, 4 losses. Not that great. I mean, that is great, but again, his performance as a quarterback wasn't.
And once again, couldn't get past Tom Brady.
Exactly. Tom Brady was a big star. All right. Well, now you've heard what we thought about Peyton Manning and Tim Tebow. Let's hear what you guys thought, CSU thought, about Peyton Manning. We went to the Plaza, and we asked you what you thought about number 18 coming to Denver.
Yep.
I mean, Peyton's got maybe 4, maybe 5 seasons left, if that. I mean, he's 1 hit away from being done forever. Like, so why not just sit and wait and let Tebow learn under 2 of the best throwing quarterbacks ever?
I think maybe in the short run it might be good, but had we been smart about it, figure out a way to keep Tebow and Manning.
I don't really care too much. I'm not a huge football fan, but hopefully it'll be better than Tebow, I guess.
I think Peyton Manning coming into Denver is a bad choice. Peyton Manning is going to have 2-3 good years tops, and basically you have 1 bad hit on Manning, and he's going to be hurt again and out.
All right, a lot of splits there, aren't there?
A lot of splits.
Yeah.
Love it. Peyton Manning is a Denver Bronco. Exactly. All right, coming up after the break, we have Kayla Ertl. She's on the desk with Reno Boyd and Kevin Lytle, breaking down the magic of the madness. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a new pet that you can cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are full of healthy, loyal, fun, loving pets. eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, you can visit theshelterpetproject.org.
The CSU men's basketball team made their first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2003 this year. It was huge for Tim Miles and the basketball program, breathing new life into our sports programs. They nabbed the 11th seed and traveled to Louisville, ultimately losing to number 6 seeded Murray State 58-41. Ram Nation was treated to stellar play at Moby, but turnovers, bad shots, and poor defense left us asking, who's playing out there? We take a look at the highs and lows and recap the Moby madness that stormed the fort this season. The Rams started off the season in a big way, beating in-state rival the Colorado Buffaloes. This game was a buzzer-beater win, 65-64. The Horned Frogs came to Moby next, and the Rams were able to continue their winning streak, beating TCU 95-89. TCU didn't go down easy, taking the Rams to double OT. And Boise State made their first in-conference appearance at Moby this season, but the Rams took down the Broncos 66-55. A loss to Wyoming, the Cowboys snapped the Rams' 8-game winning streak, but that didn't last long after the Rams took down their first-ranked opponent, San Diego State University, winning 77-60 at home. The Rams got revenge on the Cowboys at this oranged-out Moby game, 54-46. Just as Rams fans began losing hope of any tournament berth, they needed to win 3 of their last 4 games of the season, and guess what? The Rams did just that as Moby Madness went into full force, and CSU was able to beat 2 more ranked teams, New Mexico and UNLV. I'm now joined by Collegian sports reporter Kevin Lytle and our Thursday sports anchor Reno Boyd. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Well, this season was a campaign of ups and downs, but there's one thing that was consistent indeed, Moby Madness. We had huge wins over three top-ranked teams. What do you guys think was the absolute biggest win here at Moby?
I think, like you said, Moby Madness, the home game against UNLV was just crazy. Rams need it to go to the NCAA tournament. They're down early, 14-point deficit at half. They came out flying in the second half, cut the deficit really quickly, ended up winning by 8, and that was kind of the win that sealed the NCAA tournament bid.
That was such a great game to be at. And Reno, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I think that was absolutely a huge game. The Rams needed to get that one. That's kind of what pushed them into the tournament. But I think equally just as big of a game was when we played Air Force. We had to go in there. We hadn't been good on the road. Air Force shot phenomenal from downtown. So for us to keep our composure, get that win, and realize what it meant coming off of 2 very emotional wins, that was a big game.
All right, and after big games like those, and after all the hype that was brought to this team after this season, we have to talk about which players to look out for next year. Kevin, you and I interviewed 2 transfers that are ready to bring some domination to Moby, Colton Iverson, Daniel Bejarano. What do you think of these guys?
Well, we'll start with Iverson. He brings the size that you absolutely need. CSU is one of the smallest teams this year. Kind of costs him at times. He'll bring that paint presence. He dominates in practice. And then the second one, Daniel Bejarano. Transfer from Arizona. He's just an electric athlete, great shooter. He'll be able to put points on the board, and his scoring will help Wes Eichmeyer. Teams will start to defend Bejarano, leaving Eichmeyer free to lead the Rams in scoring again, probably.
All right, and Reno, with those 2 new guys, what guys that we had this season, what should we look out for next season?
Well, those 2 players are going to absolutely be huge for this team because it's the depth that we need. But I think the big player that's really going to stand out is Dorian Greene. His capability of penetrating the defense and really driving the ball really helps the Rams, and it creates a lot of open shots. And he's also a threat from downtown as well. So I think he's going to be very big next year. And then also with Iverson, you got to realize that Hornig, he's not going to have everybody kind of double teaming him. He's not going to fight as much for those rebounds. So I think our front court is really going to start to succeed, and you're going to see Hornig benefit from Iverson playing as well.
All right, well, it sounds like we have a lot to look forward to next year with the program. The Mountain West as a whole seems to getting really a lot stronger every year. So could we see a conference championship or a Sweet 16 campaign next year?
I think that CSU will look to compete for the Mountain West. They'll be right there with the UNLV and New Mexico's of the world. And then NCAA tournament berth will be expected, not hoped for. And the Rams will want to get there and then win a couple games once they're there.
And Reno, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you absolutely have to make the NCAA tournament when you look at all the returners we have and the depth we have. Our backcourt is going to be unbelievable next year, and I think that they're definitely going to compete. We got to remember we got Fresno State and Nevada coming in, but this team they should definitely be competing for the conference championship.
All right, well, I cannot wait for next season. We want to congratulate Tim Miles and the Rams on a great season and can't wait for more Moby magic. Coming up, Reno and Kevin will join Ryan Hillman and Ryan Greene to give you their Final Four predictions and how it is not just your bracket that busted. They'll explain.
Thanks. You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry.
Pass the honey? 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. If you're like us, you're pulling your hair out over the NCAA tournament upsets. They don't call it madness for nothing. And now I'm joined by Reno Boyd and Kevin Lytle. You already met them. And let's go over the games. You guys' biggest upset. Who did you have, Reno?
I think NC State so far. They knocked off San Diego State. That was a pretty big upset. It's a 6 seed. But then they knocked off Georgetown after that, which was a 3 seed. So they definitely hurt a lot of teams' brackets.
Right. Kevin?
I had Lehigh over Duke. Duke always expects to go deep, but they always seem to lose early. They lost earlier than expected this year.
They always let me down.
Guys, come on. It's Missouri and Norfolk State. Come on. I mean, Missouri won 30 games, only lost 4. I've never even heard of Norfolk State. And all of a sudden, they just come in and beat Missouri. I think that was the game that blew up the most brackets, in my opinion. Now, guys, I went on the interweb today, like I normally do. I love surfing it.
You love it.
ESPN said that they have 0 perfect brackets left. Now, it's kind of a feat getting a perfect bracket. The only chance you have is like 0.00095%, I believe. So how are your brackets looking? Kevin, how's yours looking?
Well, I have 7 of my 8 in the Elite 8, which is pretty good. But Missouri, I am in the final, so that kind of kills me.
That'll do it. Reno.
Mine's absolutely disgusting right now. It is not looking good. I had Missouri in the finals, and they went out right away. So that is just, it's not looking good for me at all.
Right. All right, Ryan, what about you?
Embarrassing. I threw it out.
Is that it? All right. Wait, mine had a lot of red on it as well. I'm amazed it's still in one piece. But all right, forget about your brackets.
Final Four.
Final Four. The teams remaining. Who do you got? Kevin, who do you got?
Got Kentucky. I think they'll get through. They have the best athletes and the best player. Michigan State, Ryan Draymond Green. He's amazing. UNC, they have the injury, but I think they'll get through. And Ohio State, they're just steady.
Reno.
I got Indiana in my Final Four.
Oh, wow.
So I got them knocking off Kentucky. That's a pretty bold move right there. Yeah. Then I got Michigan State, North Carolina, and I got Syracuse in it and winning it all. I know they don't have Fab Melo, but I picked them in the beginning. They've been looking good. I'm hoping they can pull it off.
Sticking to your guns. Well done. Ryan.
I'm going totally bold. Kentucky versus Florida on the left side.
Okay.
And then Ohio State versus North Carolina State on the right side.
Whoa.
Final, I'm putting Kentucky, North Carolina State in the championship with Kentucky winning.
All right, I went top seeds. I got Kentucky playing Michigan State on one side, and then I got Syracuse playing Kansas. I'm going to go Kentucky to win it all. That's who I picked to begin with. I think they have just the most talent. I think they're going to pull it off. That's who I got.
Safe bet.
Yeah.
All right, Ram fans, it's about that time. Thanks, Kevin, for joining us tonight. It's always good having you on here. Make sure to follow CTV Sports and like us on Facebook. We'll keep you up to date on CSU Sports and sporting news around the area. For Ryan Greene, Kayla Ertl, Reno Boyd, I'm Ryan Hillman. We'll see you next week.